Welcome back to another episode of Michelle's Podcast News. I'm your host, Michelle Tandler, and today we're diving deep into how creators are shaping the future of podcasting. Our segment is based on an insightful article by Sophie Anderson, Associate Director of Podcast Sales Marketing at SiriusXM Media, published in Adweek. In the past year alone, the number of monthly podcast listeners has jumped by nearly 15 million, and this year ad spend is projected to surpass $2 billion, cementing the notion that the future of podcasting remains bright. But what's keeping the momentum going for so long? The creators. They are the beating heart of the expansive podcast ecosystem, driving improvements around content, the listener experience, and ad effectiveness. This belief is what inspired the SiriusXM Media 2024 Podcast Trends Report, Creators at the Core. The report covers 5 key areas where creators drive the most meaningful change in podcasting and what it means for brands. Let's break it down. First, creators are raising the stakes. With bigger budgets, better microphones, and higher profile guests, the podcasting game has elevated in recent years. And it's largely due to the creators who have graduated from hosting 60-minute weekly episodes to overseeing full-on omni-channel media empires. Take, for example, Crooked Media, best known for Pod Save America. What started as a single political chatcast between 4 former Obama staffers has blossomed into a network of 40-plus audio and video shows, multiple nationwide live tours, and a charity organization that's registered hundreds of thousands of voters. Meanwhile, advertisers have also upped the ante, moving from baked-in host reads on individual shows to campaigns that span the publisher's full catalog. Some have even begun to take an omnichannel approach, expanding their podcast buys to satellite, streaming, and video to reach an unduplicated audience and achieve pure incremental reach. Second, podcasting showcases a diversity of new voices. One of the greatest things about podcasting is that you don't need many tools or special skills to get started. The medium is open to anyone and everyone, a truly democratic landscape. And that accessibility has allowed a wide range of creators from diverse communities to find their way into the space, shifting the medium into a new era where audiences can hear stories and conversations that reflect their lived experiences. In fact, listeners say that podcasts allow them to hear from diverse creators and storytellers 1.5 times more than streaming video and 2 times more than social media, according to SiriusXM Media's Pod Survey user study. But despite this promising shift, the work is not done yet. The podcast industry still has so much room for growth when it comes to diversity and inclusion. And brands are poised to make a real impact by investing in Black, Indigenous, and people of color creators specifically, and heeding the call of the 79% of podcast listeners who prefer ads that feature diverse voices, per the SiriusXM Media study. Third, creators are giving audiences everything, all at once. They're deviating from the weekly release format and adopting a model that's proven successful for streaming TV, the Binge. Whether it's a seasonal show or a limited series, podcasters are dropping the whole story in its entirety, capturing a highly concentrated audience in a shorter period. According to AudioChuck's Delia D'Ambra, the advantage of the format is that it offers more time to let the stories breathe. Not to mention, binge releases show up as fresh, new content in the podcast apps, generating a greater buzz that's comparable to a social media post or online article going viral. Take D'Ambra's long-running show Counterclock as an example. It saw a 500,000 increase in downloads on the day of the Season 6 launch based on Simplecast's metrics. For brands, this model presents an incredible opportunity to be part of the big moments in podcasting and ingrain your message into hours of uninterrupted listening. Fourth, creators are keeping the conversation going. It's no secret that podcast listeners feel an intimate connection with the hosts they listen to, but historically, that dynamic has been a bit one-sided. But now, podcasters are breaking the fourth wall and inviting their audience to contribute to the content. Ailey Ward, host of the long-running science podcast Ologies, is a prime example. She integrates listener questions into the last half of every episode, saying, "I love thinking of my listeners not as a faceless crowd, but as a singular participant sitting at my interview table." The opportunity for brands is clear. Go where the creator goes. Because it's not just about the individual show, it's about the experience and the community. And brands who show up in these tight-knit spaces are gaining high affinity for helping to foster a closer creator-listener dynamic. Just ask the 1 in 3 podcast listeners who say, "I go out of my way to support brands that support my favorite podcasts." Lastly, creators are building deeper brand collaborations. By now, many podcasters are seasoned vets with ample experience producing standout ads. They know their fans and they know what drives them to take action. Whether it's giving podcasters a voice in host reads or collaborating on custom activations, brands are seeing the advantages of trusting hosts to develop and deliver promotional content for their listeners. After all, 45% of listeners say, "I don't like when ads feel scripted or different from the podcast host's usual tone," stressing their desire for ads to feel familiar and native. But for brands that can't quite relinquish control, rest assured there are so many powerful tools like transcription targeting and brand suitability measurement to lean on for added safeguards. As creators push the boundaries of their content and foster deeper connections with their audiences, they're shaping the medium and setting new standards. And when brands align with those creators, the opportunity to reach engaged, dedicated listeners in meaningful ways grows tenfold. With creators and brands uniting to change the way people consume audio, the future of this medium looks bright indeed. Get ready for a roller coaster of uncontrollable laughter and unfiltered humor with Platanito World and Shiky, the newest podcast sensation from Revolver Podcasts. Starring the dynamic comedic duo of Sergio Verduzco, also known as Platanito, and Clement Rodriguez, Shiky, this Spanish-language comedy podcast brings a fresh and edgy twist to the world of entertainment. From spicy jokes to epic pranks and irreverent segments, this show is guaranteed to keep listeners laughing from start to finish. Whether you're a longtime fan of Platanito and Shiky or new to their comedic antics, this is the show that offers the perfect escape to leave behind the daily grind and enjoy a good time. Don't miss the chance to join in on the fun. Jack Hobbs, president of Revolver Podcasts, expresses his enthusiasm for the launch. We are excited to introduce Platanito World and Shiky to our listeners. Platanito and Shiky are a comedic powerhouse whose chemistry and timing are unparalleled. This podcast is more than just humor. It's a celebration of laughter and a break from the ordinary. We believe it will quickly become a staple for anyone looking for genuine entertainment. About the hosts, Sergio Verduzco, also known as Platanito, is a renowned Mexican comedian, DJ, influencer, and television host, famously recognized for his late-night talk show, Noches con Platanito. Born in Mexico City, Verduzco began his career entertaining at children's parties as a clown while simultaneously developing a more adult-focused comedy routine. His character, Platanito, emerged as he performed his comedy show dressed as a clown, a persona that quickly became iconic. Verduzco has a diverse background, having studied social communication and worked as a firefighter in Atizapán before fully committing to his comedy career. Over the years, he has been a mainstay on TV Azteca and performed extensively across North and Central America, showcasing his comedic talents in both television and live theater. Clement Rodriguez, popularly known as Shiky, is a multifaceted talent, actor, host, writer, dancer, and producer. Shiky made his debut on Telehit in 1997 and has since become a prominent figure in Spanish-language media. His versatility has shown through in various shows, including El Night Show Tour Nocturno, Ya Párate, and the Fox reality show Lucky Ladies. As a theater actor, Shiky has participated in numerous productions such as Ojos Abiertos, Three Roomies, Pinche Gorda, and Lavar, Peinar, y Enterrar, alongside directing and writing children's plays for Microteatro Mexico. He is also the host of the popular podcast Somos Lo que Hay, and continues to be a dynamic presence in the entertainment industry, soon to appear in Amazon Prime's new series, Chavarrucos. Shiky is a brand ambassador for several companies, including Prudence, Zoe Water, and DePaula Spa. Platanito World and Shiky is now available on all your favorite podcast platforms, including Claro Musica. Tune in and follow along for regular doses of laughter that'll brighten your day. Listen to the latest episode of Platanito World and Shiky, and stay connected by following them on Instagram, Platanito World. Revolver Podcasts is a leading force in digital audio content dedicated to providing diverse, innovative, and engaging podcasts across various genres. With a commitment to inclusivity and accessibility, Revolver Podcasts continues to shape the future of digital storytelling. Their programming is free to millions of listeners in the United States and around the world across Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Deezer, iHeartRadio app, Amazon Music, and is also available in the Revolver Podcasts app on Roku streaming devices and at www.revolverpodcasts.com. About Revolver Podcasts. Revolver Podcasts is the leading multicultural, audio-on-demand content creator and distributor in the United States. Home to Erasmo y la Chocolata, El Show de Piolín, The Showboy Show, Panda Show, Picante, and Don Cheto al Aire, plus more than 70 additional programs spanning sports, music, finance, entertainment, lifestyle, health and wellness, inspiration, news, branded content, and live events. Their shows are distributed across Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Pandora, iHeartRadio app, Amazon Music, and are also available in the Revolver Podcasts app on Roku streaming devices and at revolverpodcast.com. Roundglass India Center at Seattle University has launched a new podcast titled Desi Roots and Roots, which aims to transport listeners inside the world of trailblazing Indian Americans while exploring their roots in India and the paths they traveled to become the inspiring leaders they are today. Hosted by law professor Sital Kalantri, who is also the executive director of the Roundglass India Center, the Desi Roots and Roots podcast officially launches on September 20th. It will be available to download wherever you listen to podcasts, with new episodes dropping every few weeks. The podcast will feature conversations with innovators and leaders in technology, business, the arts, and government and politics. There are almost 5 million people of Indian descent in the United States, making them the second largest Asian group, says Kalantri. So many of them have made significant contributions to positive growth and change in the United States. The 6-episode first season focuses on the Emerald City, kicking off with Sunny Singh, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and founder of Edifex and the Roundglass Foundation. Each episode will consist of a long-form interview and discussion, diving into the personal and professional journeys of the guests. They'll discuss how they navigated intersectional identities and overcame cultural barriers, contributing to cultural preservation and community building. Here's more on the slate of guests along with the dates when their episodes drop. Sunny Singh. Singh was born in India and is the founder of the global healthcare technology company Edifex and the Roundglass Foundation. His episode will be available on September 20th. Rita Mayer. Mayer is the executive director of Tasveer, a nonprofit organization dedicated to sparking change through the power of films and storytelling, lifting up underrepresented South Asian voices in the wake of the terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001. Her episode will drop on October 4th. On Pallavi Mehta Wahi. Wahi is the managing partner of K&L Gates' Seattle office and previously served as the co-United States managing partner of K&L Gates' 25 offices in the United States. Her episode will be available on October 18th. Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. Jayapal has served the 7th Congressional District of Washington State since 2017. Now in her 4th term, Representative Jayapal was born and raised in India and came to the United States by herself at 16. Her episode will drop on November 1st. Ankur Vora. Vora is the Chief Strategy Officer at the Gates Foundation. His episode will be available on November 15th. Krishna Tyagarajan. Thiagarajan is the president and chief executive officer of the Seattle Symphony and Benaroya Hall. He was previously the chief executive officer of the Royal Scottish National Orchestra. His episode will drop on November 29th. Professor Nalini Iyer, a professor of English at Seattle University and a faculty affiliate to the Roundglass India Center, is looking forward to Desi Roots and Roots, providing more context for those interested in South Asian communities. Indian Americans are the second largest Asian American community in King County, says Iyer. The Pacific Northwest has seen continuous migration of South Asians from the early 1900s, but their history has been largely invisible, even as they are hyper-visible in some fields like tech and education. This podcast series' significance is that it offers deeper insights and stories from leaders in the community. About the Roundglass India Center. The Roundglass India Center at Seattle University focuses on the study of contemporary India as well as the Indian American community. Its mission is to educate our communities on current issues impacting them and conduct cutting-edge research on India and Indian Americans with the goal of advancing positive social, economic, and policy change in the United States and India. Listen to the trailer and learn more about the host, upcoming guests, and where to download the first episode when it drops on September 20th. On Monday, September 23rd, from 5 to 6 p.m., the Cronkite School at Arizona State University is hosting a unique event, the CronkiteLIVE interactive session on podcast scoring. This exciting session will be held at the First Amendment Forum on the second floor of 555 North Central Avenue in Phoenix, Arizona. Assistant teaching professor Roddy Nickpour will lead this interactive session, diving into the art and science of scoring podcasts and using music in nonfiction storytelling. If you've ever wondered how audio narratives can benefit from scoring or what it takes to find the right sound for a story, this is the session for you. Professor Nickpour will explore various techniques and strategies for integrating music into podcasts, enhancing the overall listening experience. Participants will have the opportunity to experiment with live scoring, where they can bring their own instruments and play along as part of the demonstration. Even if you don't play an instrument, no worries. You'll still gain valuable insights into how musicians approach audio storytelling, which can help you become a more collaborative storyteller in your own projects. This session is designed to be hands-on and engaging, providing attendees with practical skills they can apply to their podcasting endeavors. Whether you're a seasoned podcaster or just starting out, learning how to effectively use music can elevate your storytelling and captivate your audience. Don't miss this opportunity to learn from an expert in the field and connect with fellow podcasters and storytellers. The CronkiteLIVE interactive session on podcast scoring promises to be an enlightening and inspiring event that will leave you with new techniques and ideas to incorporate into your own work. That's all for today's episode of Michelle's Podcast News. I'm Michelle Tandler, and I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into how creators are shaping the future of podcasting, the launch of the hilarious new comedy podcast, Platanito World and Shiky, the exciting new series, Desi Roots and Roots from Roundglass India Center, and the upcoming CronkiteLIVE interactive session on podcast scoring. Stay tuned for more updates and insights from the podcasting world. Until next time, happy podcasting.